working for it.
But it's not your money.
What you mean it ain't my money?
When you get mad, once the two becomes one, there's no more my. It's ours. It's us. It's we.
So she putting fires out?
No, she's not.
Okay, so when I get my check,
hold on, because she's holding you down while you putting fires
I
out.
get it. When I get my check from the fire department that says Roshan Davis, right? When I get my check that says Roshan Davis, I say I'm going to take this amount of money out of this check that says for Roshan Davis and put it in this joint account for this reason.
When your check says Roshan Davis, when it hits that bank account says Roshan and Mrs. Davis. That's what.
But it's for a reason.
Right. But we cannot push the narrative of my when we're talking about marriage, because marriage says the two are one, so it's ours, it's us.
I get that, but you can't be deceitful about it.
Right.
You have to have transparency. We have to talk about it. We can't just do what we want to do with whatever. Because if I just empty the account and went and bought me a new BMW, you're gonna have a fit.
Right.
Starting to feel some
but if you would have put money to the side, but that's being selfish, though, right? That's selfish. Now,
what?
If
Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome to Kansas Conversations. I'm your host, Kyra. How y'all doing today? I'm gonna tell you how I'm doing, right? I'm tired as hell. I'm very, very tired, but it was a positive day. I met some cool people today, so it's all good in the hood. So we're gonna get this party started. We ain't gonna be on here forever. So if y'all got something to say what you got to say and get the hell on, because we're getting off in exactly an hour. We are not staying out here for a long time today. So let's get our first co-host up here, Mr. Roshan Davis.
My job is to make sure that this program go past an hour.
Don't make me have to fight you, Sean.
That's my job, right, Cody? Hey, Cody's like, nah, this is an hour and a half, right?
I love you, cousin. I love you, cousin. But we
you come get this dog.
Come get
Seems like soon as you get on, here she come.
I cannot afford Cody. I'm sorry. I cannot afford Cody. I love Cody though, but I can't afford him. You spoiled that dog. Well, thank you, sir.
My brat.
Yeah, look at her. Look at her. All right, let's get the one and only, our funny guy, our pastor, the deacon.
Come on, touch your neighbor. Touch your neighbor right now. Touch him. Touch him. Touch him so softly and gingerly. And look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, my bad, I thought you was my wife.
What? We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that.
He tried to be funny today. That was last week's episode, okay? Last week. We not doing it today. So everybody sees what the topic says, right?
Go.
Topic says, stop being your child's friend, be a parent. Do we all know what that means? I don't think so. Because the way y'all children be running around out here in these streets, I think y'all they friend. That's just my personal opinion. But Let me get my butt. Let me get it together, y'all. Y'all know I'm always trying to multitask, and I ain't good with all of that multitasking. So give me a second, y'all. All right. Now, this topic comes because hi, Mr. Williams. This topic comes because, like I told y'all in last week's episode, it was about this little girl, Kylie, bullying somebody, got suspended from school, went back to the school with her mama, decided that she wanted to beat up the girl again, and she ends up in the hospital in ICU with brain damage. And the other girl is being arrested. Hey, Chris. Other girl being arrested because she caused brain damage upon this girl. And my whole thing was, even though the girl had no business bullying nobody, she ain't had no business going up to jump nobody, she had no business doing none of the above, the mother bringing her daughter up there to bring harm upon somebody else's child. I'm not understanding. So, hello, Essence on IG. So for me, that's a no-no. It bothers me a lot when parents sit up here and think that it's okay to not be a parent, discipline their child for doing wrong instead you encouraging your child to continue to do bad behavior. I got a big problem with that. And that's because y'all parents out here is y'all kids' friends instead of being a parent, teaching them right from wrong and how to respect people that's their age and that's an adult. So before we get any more into this conversation, we got 2 videos and then we're going to get into the topic.
Number 1 rule of raising a child is don't be your child's friend, be your child's parent, okay? It's because what you say that goes. If you allow your kid to be your friend, they're going to mush you up and they're going to get away with everything. Yeah, you want to have a good relationship with your child. However, make sure that they know there's a level of hierarchy that they're not part of. You are the boss. They're just living in your world, learning from every mistake you've ever made. You know what they used to say to me as a kid, maybe 13, 14, 15 years old? If I would chime in an adult conversation, children should be seen and not heard. In other words, shut the fuck up and listen. If they want to go out and make their own mistakes, then it's on them. But you got to drive that shit home. Raise your kid. Be there for them always. But be their parent more than you are their friend.
A lot of parents enable their kids to be horrible people, man. A lot of these parents know that their kids ain't right. They talk back to them at home. They probably put their hands and buck them at home. They won't try to correct it because they too busy trying to be their friend. But then they expect when they send their kids to the school or wherever they send their kids, and the teachers call and say, hey man, little Johnny horrible. Now the teacher wrong. No, you know your son is a demon. You know your daughter ain't right. Instead of sitting up here trying to take up for them, man, why don't you make corrections? Get them the necessary help they need. I was told a long time ago, man, they got a place for people like that. They either gonna be in a graveyard or they gonna be in prison somewhere. And the parents always want to act shocked like they ain't know. You knew your son was a demon. You knew this nigga was out here doing all type of God knows what. You scared to be in the house with him. But you allowed it. You know what I'm saying? So you can't cry about it.
Whoa.
That's their real street hood. That's their hood talk. All right. And I agree with what both people said. I do not agree with parents being a child friend and don't know how to discipline their kids. Because when your kids get older and they get down in these streets and they get around the wrong type of people, and they think that they can do what they want to do and say whatever they want to do, and somebody shake their ass, then your child a victim. And then your child is not a victim. Hey, Meek. Your child is not a victim. Your child deserves exactly what they got to get shook. I'm sorry. They ass deserve to get shook. Because you ain't do your job as a parent. Your kids should not be in school bullying other people's kids, fighting other people's kids for no reason. Your children should not be disrespectful adults, don't know how to say thank you, please, or none of the above. Just rude as hell, cussing, like that's cute. I don't understand. Can y'all please make me understand what this generation is about? Because I don't know. I wish. Huh? What'd you say, Derek?
You ain't gonna get me in trouble.
How I'm supposed to get you in trouble? You one of them parents that's your kids' friends? You friends with your kids?
You want to ask my kids?
You friends with your kids, Sean?
Nah, I don't subscribe to the friend thing. I think one of the biggest misconceptions I hear is, well, you don't know what your kid do when they leave the house. Well, if you try to instill, the right morals and values, of course, you don't know what they're doing when they leave outside the house, but you can have, hope that they're gonna act out what you instilled in them. What I teach my kids is always tell them you can be upset, but you can't be disrespectful. Yeah, you can be disrespectful. I mean, you can be upset, but you can't be disrespectful.
Right.
I mean, it's as simple as that. We have to get into the whole mindset of you can be friendly, but your children are not your friends. And I know on both sides of the coin, you have some women that, they cater to their daughters' actions, and fathers, they cater to their sons' actions. You can have a young girl put on something, and dad will be like, "No, I don't really care for that. I think that's, too revealing." And sometimes moms will be like, "No, I think it's cute and this, that, and the third." But you gotta let a man be a man. If it's my job to protect my daughter, it's more than just the physical. It's pre that, before they leave the house, before they have the conversations, it's creating a mindset. It's creating, how you're supposed to walk out the house and carry yourself as a woman, a young woman. Even with when it's like Derek, I'm pretty sure, like, I've heard the conversations before. Like, let's say, a young man sleeps with a teacher. All right. It's like, oh, my little man. Okay. You done got that. She hot. You don't say that in front of moms, but it's like, okay. But you let a male teacher sleep with your daughter, you give it a different reaction.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we enable on both sides, and we have to really pay attention to that, because we do give leniency on both sides. That outfit for your daughter may be cute, but dad may be looking at it like, no, I see danger in that. If she goes to this party or this event or go to this place, it may draw the wrong type, of, the same as, with the dad side. Some dads don't mind letting the son stay out a little later. Like, yeah, you can come in at 12 o'clock. But your daughter, you don't want your daughter out there too late because you feel it's a little dangerous. Danger is danger. So I think we have,
I said stranger danger.
Yeah, danger is danger. And we have to, as parents, we have to respect each other's decision. You may not agree with it. We may not agree with it, but at the same time, we have to respect where each other coming from. If I say I don't like that outfit on my daughter, and I'm a reasonable man. You chose me to lead this family. I'm a reasonable man. And I say I don't think that that's, appropriate. Give me that, because that's just a feeling that I may get depending on where she's going. So I think parental respect for both. If you want me to provide and protect, allow me to protect, and we can't battle over that. We can't battle over that.
But I think that it should be boundaries when it comes to, everybody should have boundaries with their kids, because that's why kids feel as though it's cool. It's okay to disrespect adults and things like that, because you allow it in your own home. So it's like, do they really know any better? Like, whatever happened to teaching kids manners? Like, they ain't got no damn manners.
This is true.
It's ridiculous. Like, you have to have boundaries in your house. Like, you're not gonna be walking around my house cussing. I wish one of my kids would think that if we that cool that you could come in the house and be cussing in my house, I'm gonna throat punch you, and now you can't talk. I'm sorry.
She ain't say that, Diapers. She ain't say that, Diapers.
I don't give. Look, my kids is grown, except for that little one, and he know better. But I don't care how old my kids get, you're not gonna be running around my house just throwing out cuss words. Because now you're being disrespectful to me, my house, everybody else that live in it.
I get it. Even at this point, me being the age that I am, I don't use certain type of language in front of my elders. And that's just a man of respect. And it's you teaching them respect, your mannerisms, your moral compass, all of those different things. So I'm a firm believer in one of the best ways for a young man to be a man is to see a man. So you have to move a certain way, and experience is the best teacher. So you see, my son see me moving a certain way, they'll pick up on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of stuff is by example too. And Pinky in the Brain is absolutely right. Some parents are scared of their own kids. I don't know how the hell that happens.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I don't understand that. I will never understand that.
I mean, let me so we can get clarity on that. Are we talking about mothering or fathering? Because I can't see, fathers afraid of their children as far as physicalities.
Joy, Diapers gonna get my kids back.
So are we talking about the mother side or are we talking about the father side? Because I can't see fathers sparing their children like that.
Well, she said parents, so
that's why I'm asking for clarity.
He wants you to clarify that. But even as a mother, I'm not scared of my kids. I don't give a damn, because my kids know I can get bucked right along with them. I'm not about to sit up here and have no child of mine be disrespectful in my house. If you think you're grown enough, tall enough, and bad enough to do shit in my house, then you get out and see how good you have it on the street.
I think we had a, like Derek, if you remember, we had a show on something like this, that once young boys get to a certain age, should they be able to go with their fathers?
Right.
Because when you have alpha men in the environment, a lot of that go out of the window. You know, I walk through the hood sometime, and if I'm walking somewhere, it's a respect. You know, when I walk through, you know, versus them being, I don't know if I want to use disrespectful. Like even if you know, you're walking on the sidewalk, they may move out the way, be like, hey, what up, OG? How you? You know, versus you walking around them. You know, when I've seen that before. So certain men, you know, certain men have a certain level of respect. You know, and when you're in a household, or even if you're a man outside of the household, I think if you're dealing with a non-residential situation, we all know that, you know, the children is in 80% of the women households. You know, the women, you know, you have to really dig into that, you know, to involve the father, to make sure the father is respected, to make sure the father have access. So you don't have to deal with the nonsense, especially if you got a young boy.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I mean,
I understand you're strong and you're independent and this, that, and the third, but that old label of I'm gonna tell your father, and then the child straighten up. You know, that's like almost gone because we feel we could do it. And sometimes, you know, the parents get to conflicting because I seen one video. I don't know if you guys seen it. The father had the son on visitation, and the father had chastised the son. They came to the house, and the mother was telling the father that he was a little too hard on the son, and he was saying, "You got to stop being soft with him. You know, you. We try to raise a young man. You know, the world out here ain't gonna play with him. You know, I'm not hard on him. You just, you know, you're soft on him. You know, so you let me be a man and let me raise my son. He gonna be fine. You know, and I'm not saying to be disrespectful, but if you have a man that's instilling, you know, you chose this man to father these children. You know, so if you have a man that have, you know, good character and integrity and a good moral compass, but he's, you know, he ain't beating the child, he ain't slamming the child on his head, but he's letting them know, like, hey, we don't play like that. We don't do that. Let that man be a man and raise them children, because now those boundaries, like you said, they're going to be set. And that child's going to know, even though I'm not in that household, if he was to disrespect you and buck up at you, I'm coming. And you don't want that.
And I get that, and I totally agree. But sometimes some women don't have that choice for whatever the reason may be. I'm not going to say, you know, because
what do you mean from like absent fathers?
Absent fathers, parents passed away, dad passed away, whatever. So some women don't have that, and they have no other choice but to raise their kids, raise their son the best way that they could raise their son. So I get it, and I don't think any woman should be keeping, of not allowing the father to raise their children.
Say that one more time. Say that again.
I don't think that it's right for any woman to not allow the father to raise their child. I don't think that that's right at all. That's just like
even the uncles or the cousins, like we got family. We got to get back to the village if that's the case.
Yeah, it's family. It's family that you could go to, but at the end of the day, that child still living in that house with that mother. So it depends on how involved the family is going to be.
I get it, because my nephew, like even when my brother wasn't available for certain reasons, and my nephew would, he would get mischievous and get to acting up a little bit. The first thing his mom would say is, act up again, and I'm calling your uncle. And it'll be like, oh, no, don't call my uncle. And I never hit him, never put my hands on him. It's just I was a man. I was stern. You know, we ain't doing this. Knock it off. It's like when I came, it was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
You know, Uncle Shawnee here. So, you know, looking to family members. Sometimes it do work. You know, I understand, like, we can do it on our own, and I'm going to do it my way and such, but you have to understand when certain kids get to a certain age and height and weight and stature, they start to want to try you. You know, especially on that woman's side. You know, and I'm 6'6". I never wanted to try my mom. You know, she instilled parental fear. You know, in respect. I respected my moms. You know, my mom was, you know, 5'6", 5'5". You know, I'm 6'6". You know,
Well, I'm 5'2".
I was never going to try my mom, but I had the respect. You know, in that respect, it didn't just come from her; it came from my parents, my father as well. You know, because my father didn't play.
I get it, and like I said, 5'2", and I wish one of my kids would buck up. Like I said, I'm a throat punch their ass. But don't start. I'm playing my kids.
We see, we understand.
They do too. They asses do too. Because anybody got time to be playing with no little disrespectful kid, and then you want to say I raised you? No, sir.
I get it.
No, he will
That's
not
like what's this new thing that I hear is called gentle parenting?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that is.
I heard that phrase before, and
I think the gentle parenting this is what I think. I think gentle parenting is you don't hit your child. You just you talk to them. You reinforce discipline by just talking to them and doing like timeouts and taking away their game and things of that nature is gentle parenting. No yelling, don't yell at the kids. You have to, be calm and talk to them like they're your equal.
Definitely not. We're definitely not equal.
I think that's what gentle parenting is. I personally don't know because I don't gentle parent. So
you have to know your child and the makeup of your child to understand what is the best approach as far as raising. Of course, we understand that there's no such thing as a cookie cutter child or a cookie cutter way of raising.
There you go, Pinky answered it for you.
Huh? Oh. So some children don't react well to raising of the voices and stuff like that. They shut down, and because they shut down, that's when this parenting came in, this new style of parenting came in. Because it didn't matter when we was growing up. It didn't matter. There was no such thing. You got one style of parenting. You got your mouth butt. You got your lip busted. You ain't got a switch. You got a belt. These were the different forms of parenting. You either got a switch, you got a belt, or you got a race car track. Those are your different forms. Now we have all these different new forms of parenting because everybody. Everybody has a different way of parenting, and their parenting styles should be based off of the makeup of their child. Because when you got an off the hook kid and you trying to come and tell them that you're going to gentle parent a kid that's cursing you out, sticking up his middle finger, cursing teachers out, kicking kids and throwing desks around the classroom, you have to understand that type of that type of parenting is not going to work. But I think it comes from a lot of traumas that happened as when we were children. So when you have trauma parents, traumatized kids who haven't healed, raising their kids, they're going to do mostly the things that they did not want to happen to them, to their children. And we have to first, as always, the first part of being to be effective parenting is first finding healing for the stuff that went wrong with you. Because then when you can do that, then you can effectively begin to parent your children. But society, we're not trying to heal. We're not trying to unpack those deep scars that happened to us as children. We're not trying to talk about how embarrassed we were when our parents came and pulled us to the front of the classroom and smacked out and popped our butt a couple of times, and our friends laughed at us for a whole year. We not ready to unpack that stuff. All we are ready to do is to continue to raise our children in a way when they may need those different styles. Everybody doesn't need to be popped. Everybody don't need a hand put on them. Some people need that stern conversation or that stern talking to. Some people need the gentle parenting. They need that conversation and knowing, hey, I love you and you make me sad when you don't listen. But you have to know your child and you have to be ready to first deal with your demons, so you don't instill your demons inside your children.
I'm glad you said that, because I was going to tap into that as well as far as environment. A lot of these children didn't just show up like this.
Right.
It's learned behavior. A lot of children ain't just walk into the classroom cussing and yelling and ready to fight. Some of them come from a very, very brutal environment. Where the household is a bunch of cussing. The household is a bunch of fighting. The household is a bunch of disrespect. So they'll attach on to that, and now they're out there being disrespectful because, when you have a child and they learn their first words and take their first steps and, all of these different things, now we're going into a learning process. So now all of a sudden this kid is calling people MFers and BITCHs, and you like, where'd that come from? It came from you. Or it came from your environment. They heard it from your experience, the experience you gave this child. And if it's not from you, it was in your home. Somewhere, even if it was outside of the home, somewhere, this, that, and the third, and that thing materialized. You have to go into correction versus, coddling.
Right.
Because we want to. My kid is the angel. No, some of these kids they ain't no angel. They just tone it down when they're in front of you. But when they're in some of them schools, that's why they tell some of these parents, sneak up on your kid in school. Sneak up on them. Stand in the corner and just watch and see what happens. But then dial it back. On maybe some of the conversations you've done, had, maybe the arguments that they probably was witness to, maybe the arguing and the fighting and the dialogue and all of these different things. These kids ain't learning this stuff just in the street. Right. They learn some of this stuff right in the house.
We know that they're not learning it just in the streets. It's coming from some parts, from somewhere in their house, but that don't mean it's okay to send them out in the world like that.
Yeah, and I said, she said something. Somebody just said something like, sometimes you have cousins and this, that, and the third. Yeah, of course, you have family members that's a little toxic. So if you allow your child to stay in that toxic environment, then that's your fault.
Trying to tell you something.
And
I know when we was growing up, My mom was very strict. I always say that my mama was a crazy
Mm-hmm.
lady.
And
But she
you
was very
made
strict. But she, as you get older, like, you know, I'm older, so I get it. But my mother ain't play with family like that. You know what I'm saying? She will only allow us to be around certain family members. We can only stay the night at certain family members' houses. We can only do certain things with certain family members. Because
Yeah.
my mother just was like, you know, I don't want y'all acting like them.
And you'll get attacked. You know, certain family members are like, oh, y'all don't come around. You think you better than us.
Oh yeah,
You think
you
you
get
this,
all
you
of
think
that.
you that.
Get
You think you
out. But you know,
it's like,
in the middle, people.
yeah. The results of your life a lot of times tell the story. You know,
Absolutely.
it tells the story. You know, and we gotta stop coddling, and we gotta stop being afraid to call out a lot of this nonsense and have the hard conversations. You know, I looked at a stand up before that Chris Rock had. He said when he grew up, there was kids in the neighborhood, and he saw these kids, and he knew, you know, you wasn't saving college money, you were saving bail money, because you see some of the kids, and you see the parents and how, you know, the parents run and how they talk and how they deal with situations, and you know the party house, like we all know the party houses, and you know the kids ain't sleep, they sneak in to see what's going on, and you drinking and smoking and how like we see all of that stuff. Then you wonder why kids
don't
turn
want-
out a certain way.
No parent should wonder why they child in jail. If your child is disrespectful, cussing, fighting in the streets all times of the day and the night, you shouldn't wonder why your child is in jail. You shouldn't wonder. You just shouldn't wonder that, because you should know that.
Yeah, well, to trigger
You should know
Kamisha,
that.
this goes back to accountability. You know, taking responsibility for your actions. You know, being able to understand that, you know, even co-parenting with certain people, you know, picking men and women because of certain reasons versus, you know, who's probably the best person to pair with, to have children and to build a life with, versus because they're hot. You know, they look a certain way or got a nice body. I see a lot of men, you know, they rather deal with, you know, the woman with the nice body but they got the smartest mouth, the most disrespectful, nastiest mouth, you know, in the world. And then the same is on the flip side of that, you know, picking the man that doesn't have the right path of success, and you know, the right mannerisms, and having the drive and the will to succeed, and give them this work ethic, you know, to build, you know, structure in the household, you know. And I say this all the time, you know, on my page, as far as young men, like I said earlier, you know, one of the best ways for a young man to be a man is to see a man. So if you're cheating, if you're a man, and you're complaining about our young men in the street, you know, doing whatever they doing, but you want to cheat and not do what you're supposed to do as a man, and all of these negative things, if you're not the example that they should follow, then you need to check yourself. You need to hold yourself accountable, because how you expect for this young man to grow up and be a man and follow certain structures if you ain't up to par yourself? You know, so
Absolutely. Like I said, everything to me is by example, and whatever, and kids learn from whatever they see in their homes. Whether it's a man or a female, parents still have to hold themselves accountable for the things that their children are doing wrong.
Yeah, that's the first classroom. It's home.
Because you can't sit up there and say, oh, and keep making excuses for your child. Like, it's okay for you to discipline your child in a healthy way. You don't always got to beat them and pop them upside the head or throat punch them, as I should say. But but don't think I abuse my children, because I do not.
That's me. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in hitting and yelling for the most part. I don't believe in that. Yeah. I believe in
I have a healthy balance. I got a healthy balance. I can yell at you, I can talk to you, or I can punch you in the chest. It can go either way. I like to keep it a mix. I like to keep them guessing. They don't know which father they get.
They don't know what's coming. But I could say that I don't have issues with my kids, and I never really had no big problems with my kids. So whatever I did something right when it came to them.
Another thing that we don't. I'm sorry, Kat. Finish. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, my dog.
I was going to say another thing that we have to get away from is the finger pointing. Like, oh, it's dad's fault because dad doesn't do this, or it's mom's fault because mom doesn't do this. Because I think I said it in a show earlier. When we celebrate the good that a child does, we all stand up and we all want to take pride in that. But as soon as the child does bad, then we want to start pointing fingers and say it's not our fault. We need to be willing to take accountability when they're doing well, and take accountability when they're not.
Absolutely.
It's a team effort. It's not just when they got straight A's, or they made the basketball team, or they made the football team, and they got it in the newspaper. Now that's my boy, and everybody want to stand to be proud. But then the moment they beat a kid up and he hit his head on the curb, then it's dad's fault. I asked dad to spend more time with him, and all. Like, we have to get out of that. We have to understand that when our children have these moments, and it's a team effort, all hands on deck when it's come time to raise our children.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you got a good counterpart. It's you have to be inclusive, because you can feel you can do it on your own, but from me seeing as much that I've seen in the family court system, any doctor would tell you that both biological parents is the best that to give the child the best opportunities for both biological parents to get it together.
I mean, you need that balance anyway. Children need a mother, and children need a father, whether it be a boy.
So they gotta put their nonsense to the side if they have that type of nonsense.
Yeah. People have to learn how to have healthy co-parenting. Just like I don't know, she's a social media person. I cannot remember her name. I think I sent you the video though. And she was being ridiculed on social media because her two children live with their father, and the baby father and her. The girl, I think she said she lived in Georgia. The baby father
in another state,
in Alabama. Yeah. But he live in Alabama. Her mama live in Alabama. Like, her village lives in Alabama, but she moved to Georgia for her career situation. So they broke up, and he asked her if he could have the kids.
Yeah, to stay in the environment, especially with all the help that he had.
So she decided that she was gonna give the father the kids, and they co-parent. She, like she said, they come to Georgia, they visit her and things like that. But her village lives in Alabama. So she did what was best in the best interest of her children, because it's more support in Alabama than it is in Georgia. She didn't think about herself. She wasn't being selfish. She gave her children to the father, where the children will be best raised at, because her family's there, his family is there, so he has help. He's not like he raising them by himself. He has help. Well, she was struggling with 2 kids in Georgia by herself. It didn't make sense. So you always got to do what's best for your children, not what's best for you. You always think about your kids first.
And that's a hard conversation, because I don't even want to segue into a conversation like that, because I don't want it to go left or anything. But like we had, huh?
I said it don't matter if it go left. People will be all right.
I get it. I get it. But at the same time, the fathers, like, we spoke a bunch of times on, statistics, right? The statistics say that, Black fathers is the new face of fatherhood in America. Especially in a family court system, fathers spend more time with their children than any other fathers. Fathers are, more involved. Black fathers are more involved. All of these different things. That's why I said, even when you're dealing with confliction, can we put our ego to the side? Can we put our anger to the side? Because, involving the biological father gives the child statistically more of a chance at success. But when you have that breakdown, that confliction, now people, because a lot of people, I'll say some people, use the children as a weapon.
Absolutely.
They use the children as a weapon, not realizing that that's not for the betterment of the child. So speaking to those people, you got to put your ego to the side. You got to put your pettiness, your spitefulness, put that to the side. Because if you truly want what's best for the child, you got to tone it down. You got to tone it down. And sometimes, giving the child to the dad is best. We never venture into that type of conversation about, if you're going to deal with a single parent household, allowing the father to raise the boys in that single parent household versus the mom in a single parent household, because the father maybe can identify with the son more. He may be more financially available.
I just got one question.
Yes.
Why is it just the sons? Why can't?
Because I said identify. The fathers can identify more with the son. I feel the women can identify more with the girls. I just truly believe that, because what young women go through. I mean, I can raise my daughters to be the best young women that I could want them to be. But what a woman go through. The instincts. You know all the mannerisms, everything, of what this young girl is going to go through. The same as if you had a son, and I'm the man outside of the house. And I mean, and I'm a good man. I'm a good man with, good moral compass and good character and integrity and all of these different things. A lot of women push back on that, but you can't teach a young boy how to be a man. You can't. You don't have the instincts. You don't have the mannerisms. You don't have, those things. Even to the point of just the parental fear. There's a difference when mom walk in the room and when dad walk in the room. When a son get to a certain age, he start to feel himself the same as, I guess with young women, but when dad is there, you can look those stats up. When dad is there, we don't play those type of games. You know what I mean? So You know, I believe the nurturing side of a woman out. Now, if you want to cross it, I believe that a dad can teach a young girl what to look for in a man
Yeah,
by
because I was about to
being
say,
by being a certain type of man, and you know how to speak to a woman, and what you should expect and what you shouldn't expect, and what you should allow, what you shouldn't allow, how to deal with, you know, certain men, because a woman don't know what it's like to be a young boy growing up into a you know, a teenager to a young man, a young adult. You don't know what that's like,
mhm. You don't, but
you know,
I will
and
always
vice
say
versa.
that. I mean, I know that men can identify with men, with their boys. Women can identify more with their daughters, but no matter what, you still need both
So
in order to be.
you need the balance. You need the
You
balance, you know,
definitely need the
but
balance
yeah, you need the
because
balance, but you know,
I
just
know. I'm just saying, I know from personal experience, like how it feels not to have your father around. You know what I'm saying? Even though my father passed away, I still know how it feels not to have one.
yeah,
And even though
we'll
I had
take
my
this.
stepfather, yeah, but even when I had my
Yeah,
stepfather, and then my stepfather passed away,
well,
so
well,
you know, still, even though I'm grown, I'm still in this world fatherless, but I still need a father. So I have to call onto my uncles and things like that to get that.
yeah, well, just take this dynamic alone, right? You have a house, right? You have a single woman in this house. You need the grass cut. You know, you need certain things fixed. You know, you need certain things put up. You need certain things put together. 9 times out of 10, what are you gonna do? You're gonna hire somebody to come over and cut the grass, to manicure the lawn, to do this and to do that. But if you got a man in the house, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna hope that that man is the one that's going to cut this grass. He's gonna go and fix this. He's gonna fix that. The one thing that the man is, you know, I hope the man is going to do is say, "Hey, little Sean Jr., come with me. We're gonna go. He's gonna teach your son how to manage a home versus hiring people to do things that he can do directly." And that's certain things that a man invites to the dynamic versus, you know, a single mom. You know, because if you're working 2 jobs and you got a house, you ain't got time to cut the lawn. You ain't got time to fix this and fix the boiler and fix the furnace and fix the stove and put this together and put the shelves up and the dishwasher is broke. And now, you know, you ain't got time to YouTube how to fix this and do all of these different things. But when you got a man in the house, a man is gonna say, "I got it, I'll take care of it." If somebody walks through that door ready to start, you know, tripping, you know, you got a man in there to protect the home. That's teaching the son certain things to look for, certain things to listen for, certain things where to put the weapon. You know, you need a key for this. You need to, like, it's certain things that men teach young men on how to manage a home.
I definitely get that part. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but a woman in a single parent home in a house, she will 9 times out of 10 hire things that a husband will automatically do, which will trickle down to the son to teach the son how to manage a home.
Absolutely.
How, you know, certain things to look for, certain things, you know, that you're supposed to do as a man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
So it's a difference.
I'm not saying that that's not what's going to happen. It is a big difference, especially when the father not in the home. It is a big difference. But it's still, like I said, it's still that balance that still has to be there because girls need their daddies too. And that's why sometimes these girls grow up running around here messing with these old ass men because they got daddy issues.
Yeah.
Because that's what that ends up being. They're looking for the love from a grown man because daddy wasn't there.
When we were growing up, your young daughter, when she felt that she wanted to go to the prom or go on a date or this, that, and the third, what would normally happen is she would bring that young boy to meet the father.
Uh-huh.
And the father would instill that this is my daughter. My job is to protect her.
Mm-hmm.
It gives a different fear factor than mom, knowing that there's dad in place. Now, remove that from the home. Remove that from the home. You get some of these young men, like they'll put hands on your young girl because they feel that there's nobody there to conflict that. No matter how you feel, we'll get women in a comment section like, "Oh, you put your hands on my daughter, I'm a such and such and such." Difference is when you have a man that's there, that fear factor is already set.
Yeah, I get
we
that.
We ain't doing this. So
I understand
you
that part.
coming in, it used to be the whole thing of introducing the young man to the father and instilling, what we need to instill, even with marriage, asking the father for the hand in marriage. Like, you don't even get that no more. You at the mall or you at the restaurant and you just want to go on and just ask, and then you go and tell the parents when it's like that respect used to be a little different. So when you don't have a man in the house, even with a daughter, it gives off a different feel.
I get you, and I get you, and I do. But like I said before, some households don't have that because they ain't got no daddy around, so they don't have nobody.
80%. 80% of our children is born into, separate households.
Yeah.
And then we wonder why, our community is a certain way when we need to start working together. We need, like Derek said, or maybe it was you, instead of pointing the finger and arguing or whatever, sometimes we can have a conversation. And that's why I said I don't even want to say certain things because it'll start going off of the rails because we can't talk about certain things. It seems like when we talk about certain issues, it turns into, the defense mechanisms like jump. When it's like, no, we should be able to talk about anything. If it's for correction, if you're just throwing things in people's face, that's something different. But if we're trying to get to a point of correction, we should be able to talk about anything that's going to be for the betterment of our community and our households and our children.
Yeah, but we also have to realize it's very hard because this ain't like back in the day where you have your village to help you. Everybody's for themselves. I could call my cousin up that happens to, that's a man, and be like, "Oh, I need help with my son." But you two, because you got your own family, you got your own kids, you got your own problems, you got your own issues. You just want to talk to him just at one time. It's not a consistent type of thing. It has to come with consistency.
I agree, and your the cousin in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, they had their children as well. But we have to seek out the help. We have to be willing to seek out the help instead of saying I'll do it on my own.
Yes, you do have to ask for help.
Well, we don't have a lot of people. Yeah, we don't have a lot of people that seek the help out.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like, no, I'll do it on my own. And sometimes, you know what? I just did a post like this like 2-3 days ago. When you hear some people I got to do what I got to do, or sometimes you got to do what you got to do because you already burnt all the bridges, because of the way that you are. Now that's going back to the environment that these children are being raised in.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's, 2-parent household or not. Because just because you're in a 2-parent household don't mean that it's productive.
Exactly. I mean, I understand that sometimes some kids come from messed up homes and things of that nature. Definitely understandable. because
Yes.
everybody don't have a perfect home. Everybody ain't got no, you know what I'm saying?
This is
Nobody got
true.
a perfect home. Ain't nobody got perfect parents because ain't nobody perfect.
This is true.
And we can't choose who our parents are. We don't get to pick and choose. We just here.
But
Even though we like to be here, we're here.
But our parents can.
Absolutely.
Our parents can, and I think that's one of the biggest problems. You know.
But
who
unfortunately,
yeah.
Unfortunately, we we living in a world where a lot of people ain't picking and choosing properly. Of who their baby daddies is, who their baby mamas is, and things like that. Hell, who even who the hell they marry. So at the end of the day, you got all these products just popping out all over the place, but ain't nobody taking accountability for them. And your kids running around here like they're gang members and doing God knows what with God knows who, bringing more babies into the world when they still don't know how to wipe their own ass they damn self.
Now check like what you just said. They run around like they're gang members, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you'll take some of these gang members that have 3 and 4 and 5 kids, right? Somebody is choosing these people
absolutely
to lay down with and have children with.
Mm-hmm.
We have to make better decisions as people.
Absolutely.
If we truly want what's for the betterment of the children, we have to truly start being honest. We have to truly start being honest. Like we see some of these situations.
It's somebody for everybody, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know who you're dealing with. But when it comes to these kids, we still got to be better parents to our children.
Yes. And the first thing is choosing the right person first. Stop picking people because asses, and if this person got money, or if this person cute, or this person handsome, or all of these different things. Stop choosing just for that, because now this child is to raise these children with you.
But exactly.
And now they ain't shit. Now the baby mama or the baby daddy ain't shit. They wasn't shit when you met them.
Definitely
they wasn't shit when you met them.
But it still should not. It got to be a responsible parent somewhere down the line. Mama got to be responsible, or daddy got to be responsible. Somebody got to be responsible.
Sometimes neither one of them is responsible. Sometimes neither one of them is responsible, and that's why we get what we get. That's why we get all of the nonsense in the schools, because sometimes neither one of them is responsible.
But
grandma can't tell neither one of them nothing, because what's gonna happen? These are my kids. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do with my kids. Ain't nobody such and 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 such, because that's your children, and ain't nobody gonna be able to tell you nothing. But we have to start holding each other accountable.
Absolutely. And it comes from the home first.
I agree.
Parents got to stop making excuses for their children. You cannot be your child's friend. I don't care. You want to be your child friend, be your child friend when they 30.
I don't think I'll ever be my children's friends. I'll be friendly with them.
I'm just saying, if you want to be your child's friend, be your child's friend when they in their 30s, not when they kids, not when they need to be raised. Not when they need to be raised. Because this is the reason why the majority of these children is out here running them up.
I get it. I just think when
out here I can't stand to see parents out here in the clubs with their kids smoking weed with I can't stand it. It's just certain boundaries you just
I agree. That's what I was about to say. Those boundaries. Once you start allowing certain boundaries to be breaking down, then you start to allow in a certain type of spirit, a certain type of dialogue, a certain type of experience, a certain type of like you now when we're friends, we start to talk like friends. We start to deal with each other like friends. We start to handle situations like friends. No, I'm your father. I remember the first time my son said bro to me. You know, that whole new thing where they be like, come on, bro. And I was like, what you say? Yeah. Like, I ain't your bro. I'm your father. Oh, no, Dad, that's just what we say. I don't care what y'all say. You ain't gonna say that to me.
Yeah, I don't do that bro shit.
I ain't your bro. I'm your father. That's it. And another phrase that I say to them, this ain't no conversation. That's it. This ain't no conversation. Now you can have your gentle parenting. You can have you can say this and you can say that, but no, when I tell you that's it, it's over. Shut it down.
Yeah. The relationship evolves when our children becomes
so
exactly.
I think this was a good look.
Yeah. But an hour, you know, we trying to stay a little bit on point. Cherie, I definitely agree with you on that one. But our hour is up. I thank everybody for tuning in.
And it can evolve, but you still have to have boundaries.
From now until who knows when, Candid Conversations will be coming on Tuesday nights at 9:00. So I thank y'all all for tuning in. I just want to say one thing. One of our special guests at sometimes in our shows from before, I just want to give a rest in peace to Herschel, Man Richardson. He did co-host on the show a couple of times, and unfortunately he did pass. So I just wanted to give some respect and some love to Mr. Richardson, Mr. Man.
Rest in peace, my boy.
Of Patterson. Always a lovely sight to see.
Riverview Towers legend.
And
stand up dude. I had the privilege of working with him professionally in a couple of different avenues, and he's always been professional, always been full of life and encouraging. No matter like you. He knew it, and if he could do it for you, he did it for you. He didn't think nothing of it. If you asked him a question about anything, he was more than willing to teach you what he knew. He was an open book, and we need more people like that. So definitely a felt loss in our community.
I agree.
Absolutely. So our heart and our condolences go out to the Richardson family, his sons, his two sons. So, like I always say, everybody talks about a village, but if you knew Herschel, you knew he loves his kids, his boys to death. So, if you want to honor him, help with his kids, need help honor him in that way to make sure his boys always stay good. And on that note, Candid Conversations, we'll see y'all next Tuesday at 9:00. Like, share, follow, subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We are on Spotify, iHeart, Apple, Google Podcasts, and a couple of more that I just can't remember off the top of my head. But we are on Talk Radio as well. So if y'all happen to get on, please subscribe to Candid Conversation Podcast. And always has been a pleasure. At the end of the day, my last token of the night, my last thing I have to say for the night about this topic is that as we bring these children into this world, these little human beings who don't know no better. So it's our job to raise them properly and let them be functional adults in the world, to be able to take care of themselves, to be kind, to help others, and things of that nature. Not to be Rambo in these streets. Okay. We are not raising the next gangbanger. We are not raising the next drug dealer. We are not raising those type of children. We are raising our children to be successful engineers. Hell, even the damn president of the United States. Who the hell knows? But at the end of the day, please stop being your kids' friends and start raising your children. It's okay to be a parent. You ain't got to be liked by your kids. They'll like you later on in life when they win it. You got anything to say, Sean?
Yeah, like I always say, let's get back to family and rest in peace, my guy, Herschel. I love you, brother. You already know.
Deacon?
I said my piece already.
All right, y'all.
Wait, hold on. Nope. Shout out to the Gaskin family who also said goodbye to their sister, their aunt, their cousin. She was definitely a force, a powerful force in the family and to anybody who knew her. So our prayers goes out to the family.
My condolences.
As they start that new life without their loved ones. And for anybody out here, this is the time. We're in the season now to stop holding grudges. Find your loved ones. Find the people that you care about. Let them know that you care about them. Let them know that you love them. Because they can be here today and they can be gone today.
Tomorrow.
No, they can be gone today.
And on that note, everybody, y'all all have a beautiful, blessed day. Don't forget, mornings, if y'all up in the mornings trying to get to work or you need something to listen to, watch every day, Monday through Friday from 6:30 in the morning to 8 o'clock. You got Dre and the Family, which Deacon is a co-host on. Lala Anthony is a great show. It's on IG. It's from 6:30 to 8. And let's not forget to talk to Miss Lala After Dark on Fridays at 8 o'clock on Instagram, Facebook, and IG. We support those who support us. So therefore, y'all go like, follow, subscribe, and share on those pages as well. See y'all next Tuesday, same time, 9 o'clock, y'all. 9 o'clock on Tuesdays. Love, peace, and blessings.